Yeah, I've started.
Perfect. So yesterday we actually have used our local virtual machines. We have used the Ubuntu subsystem, right? But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you how we can go ahead and implement the same thing on a cloud. Now the difference, we will not be having much difference over there, but still we just want to understand that how these things are most likely going to be implemented, and we will be able to see that kind of stuff here. So, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and relaunch a virtual machine because we are going to see how exactly giving up a system like an implementation so we're going to follow here. Yes, technically, if we talk about from an implementation perspective, we are not going to have much difference anyhow. how to install Ansible, the same thing. So we have already done in our previous session the SSH configuration, that how exactly we will be able to configure and be able to connect to the virtual machine. Now the same thing what we are going to do is like today we are going to see how we do the same stuff over here. Python is a prerequisite, so which is already automatically going to be installed over here. We don't have to really go ahead and install the Python. So Python prerequisite is already here. So Ansible is based out of Python, and it's Python is just nothing but the runtime for the Ansible. So I'm just going for the installation here. Now here, when you do the installation of Ansible, there is a command called Ansible init. Because I have already done the installation. But there is no etc folder. There's no etc Ansible folder, which is really available over here. So eventually what I have to do is I have to really go ahead to understand that how the different kind of modifications are going to be done, going to be, like performed, and then we can take care of those kind of changes. Yeah, so definitely that's the like a high level of changes which we will be following, and we are going to understand it. So how to raise this? Because see, the way that how we are able to do it up, the implementation earlier. So that's a different story. That's a different component. But here, the installation is going to be totally different here. So here we are going to run this command. Right? And we delete the host file. All that's manually over here, which is fine because if you install Ansible and the configuration is not coming up automatically, there is no harm in creating this kind of a structure manually also, because it's just a one-time activity which we are going to do over here. For example, if we want to see like what are the different hosts we want to keep over here, so we can easily go and we can configure it. Like for example, host is the file. Host is the file which we are trying to modify here. Now in this host file, what happens, like we are really going to go ahead and keep whatever the servers we want to manage, we want to maintain. So we are going to keep it. So when you go for this file, so here you can have the web servers group, which is going to be a present like this one, or you can give a server IP like 20, 20, 30, 40, like you can keep as many as servers under the host group here. Now I understand that we are talking about the Ansible core tool over here. So most of the things which we are trying to do over here is like pretty much manual. But when it comes to the implementation, when it comes to the setup, so there is an enterprise tool called Ansible Tower available there. And in case of Ansible Tower, what happens, like most of the things we can pretty much go ahead and do it up in a different manner, like in a pure GUI mode there. So right now here, things are going to be a bit different, but that's totally fine. And we can simply go ahead and see like how the different kind of an configurations are going to be transformed here. So that's what we are exactly going to do. And we are going to like, talk about and consider over here. Now you can give any number of group details over here. So for example, if I want to give like, for example, project A. So you can have a servers there, like you can have project B. So that's how we can keep on adding the host inventory file. But it's very important that when we are like doing all these activities, when we are doing all these kind of tasks, the SSH connectivity is pretty much important. That's something which is very much mandatory. So when I say mandatory, it means like I should be able to connect to these servers. Now, if I save this file and run the command called Ansible -m is for module, like we want to go and invoke the ping module over here. So that's what we are trying to do. So ping module over here in this one is something we're using which we will be able to, like go ahead and send the ping command. So it's a ping mechanism which we are going to do. So what is the purpose of ping? So I really wanted to understand and see like if my servers are really reachable for to me or not. So if that's something which I wanted to do, I wanted to perform, so I can easily go ahead and run this command. So when you fire up this one, so like you get this kind of a fingerprint. It's asking for a yes or no. Now, what exactly is this one? This output is very normal. It's pretty much simple. When you're going for any kind of an SSH configuration, this is a standard output which comes in. Now, what is the purpose of this output? See, when you are trying to configure or when you're trying to connect to a server, to a Linux machine. So what happens that when you're doing it out for the first time, it actually tries to go for a verification. Like it tries to go for a SSH verification. So when we say SSH verification, it means like it's pretty much going for the validation. It's trying to validate that if it's like something which is authorized, or if it's like something which you want to connect, a one-time task. And once this fingerprint is saved, it will not ask you these kind of messages going forward. But having said that, if for any reason, let's say your server is restarted, or you have done some changes to the server, this fingerprint again gets changed, gets modified. And then again, the problem is that you have to go ahead and get this value differently. So this is a kind of a bit of disadvantage over here, because clearly over here in this one, it's going to cause a lot of trouble to us and a lot of problem as such here. So what is the solution to this one? So the single hand solution which we are going to receive over here is that in this case, there is a variable over here. I actually like forgot I always forgot the variable name, which we need to go. Yes, this one. It's been like 6 to 7 years. Like I always forget this variable name there. Now, after that, when you do, it's not asking for yes or no kind of an confirmation from you, because it's straight away going to disable the host key checking and proceed further. And as you can see, like, like the server details, which is there in front of you. So pretty much all of them are unreachable, which is fine, which is great, because I have not got those as a valid servers. They are not the valid servers anymore. So pretty much this is something which we like really need to see to understand that how the things goes on there. Any doubts or questions, guys, so far? Okay. Now, how to have a valid server there? So in order to go for a valid server connectivity, I told you, like if I, because for me, the local host is also failing, right? I mean, for local host, all I have to do is like, I have to set up a small flag like this one. I'm just sharing this into the chat window to you. So all I have to do is like, I have to go ahead and to just add up a flag like this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't have the access to in the chat. Right. So we have this flag like Ansible underscore connection is equal to local. Because the moment you're going to give this as a like a flag, so what will happen that we will be able to have a connection, like an Ansible connection will be there. And with this one, we will be able to authenticate and you are getting a ping pong kind of a message, right? So this message which you are getting over here in this one is something which is very important because that's the standard way that how things are going to be rolled out. So this is something which is going to be crucial. Now we can do whatever the things, whatever the setups we wish we want to do, we can go and we can follow it. But remember, like yesterday in the session, we talked about the shell module that any kind of in command we want to run, like for example, I know I wanted to go ahead and uh, do a package installation. So why not I can go ahead and run the command like this. So I don't want to go for all the servers because all the servers is unnecessarily picking up all the servers. So I can give web servers, I can give like project A, I can give project B, or I can give the local host also, like individual server details also. I can go and I can provide. But let's say if you are like providing some values, like for example, I have a typo over here. So let's say if we are providing like web servers one over here and this one. So what will happen that it's like really going to fail over here because in front of you, as you can see, like it says that the supplied host pattern is not something which really got found over here in this one. So we don't have that host pattern really available there. So definitely that's also like something which is going to be a different here. So I have to give the correct host pattern, and the moment you give the correct host pattern, you will be able to go for the package installation. Like the correct package installation is going to be done here. So it's going for only web servers. And in that web servers, we have two servers only. No other servers will be invoked. You see this output? This output is coming up from that. All right. So this is the approach. This is the like the mechanism which we will be able to follow, and we will be able to generate here. Right. But how many shell modules I can invoke? One advantage I can clearly see that if at all in my host pattern, I'm going to have like 10 servers, 20 servers, 30 servers, 40 servers. This script is really going to clearly take care of that. That's a big, stuff for me. But having said that, if we are going to, get some steps involved, like let's say there are so many steps which is available there. There are like multiple steps involved. So definitely in that case, it's going to be very difficult for you. So what exactly we are going to do is to understand that how the things are going to be rolled out, and we can follow those stuff here. Right? Wow. Now Ansible have so many modules because clearly the command which we have ran, we actually call it out as an ad hoc command. So ad hoc commands, how many you can run? 5, 10, 20, 30. Like there is a limited commands only which you can go and you can run. So what happens that you really need to see like how the thing works. So there are so many modules available there. There's a proper index of modules present. Um, sorry. Cloud modules, clustering modules, command modules, because when Terraform was not there, people were using the configuration management tools like Ansible, Chef, and Puppet only for provisioning the infrastructure. So later on, Terraform came in, but earlier, this kind of a tool, like these tools were the one which we were using, and we were, implementing up those kind of like a setups here. So definitely that's the kind of like uh, you know like the kind of like a scenario. So that's the different categorizations which is really going to be present here. So messaging modules are there, inventory modules are there, packaging modules are there. So many like modules which we will be able to like really go ahead, and we will be able to follow it up over here in this one. All right, perfect. Now let's go to any kind of an packaging module. Now packaging modules means like whatever type of operating system is there, we can actually go ahead and use this one for the installation of those packages of those softwares. So we can really go ahead and install, like let's say if we have Ubuntu, CentOS, Fedora, Red Hat, whatever the type of OS we have. So the installation is something which is going to be considered over here. It's really possible, and we can really go ahead and conduct using these different modules. So these all different modules are really going to work for us, and we will be able to essentially go ahead and see like how these kind of modifications are going to be like generated here. So definitely that's like something which we will be following, we will be considering. So you have like epay command, every operating system, like whether it's a Mac OS, it's Ubuntu or CentOS, we have all these kind of options which is going to be available there, and we are going to explore them. We are going to see like how these different options are going to be worked, and we will be like following up those kind of like a scenarios. Yeah. Right. So definitely that's the kind of an possibility which is really going to be present there. Now, if you pick up any module, so the way that how we run the command like apt, like we want to do the installation of a package. So if we say state as present, so the package will be installed. If we say state as absent, the package will be uninstalled. So depending on the state, we will be able to get the results. Like we will be able to get the response here. So if you want to uninstall the package, we can say like state is equal to absent, and then according to that, we will be able to get the results here. So it's quite customized, and it's completely up to us, like within our hands, the way that how we are going to do the code. We are going to do the, like modifications. According to that only, we are going to get the results. And that's the biggest benefit. That's the biggest advantage which we are going to receive. We are going to get over here, because we are not going to worry about like how these codes are there, because I don't have to remember these codes. I can simply copy paste this version. If tomorrow it's not Apache 2, if it's like some different package or some different software, I can just change it. I can just modify it and remove it. For example, any kind of an activity we are doing, you want to create a file, you want to, like, for example, there is a file. So if you want to create a file, if you want to create a folder, if you want to create a user, if you want to create a group, so file, we have separate modules. So if you want to create a file, if you want to search into a file, replace the file, you want to see the stats of the file, you want to archive the file, you want to unarchive the file. So whatever the activities. Now, one more thing is there, that ideally most of the things are supported here. Most of the things are supported here. You will see that support in this one. But having said that, if at all there is not certain possibilities available there, if you feel like, okay, this is not something which is there, which is not available. So what you can do is, like, you can really go ahead and you can use different scenarios. There is a certain shell, or there is certain script module available, where you can go and you can put your custom commands if you feel like it's not working for you, because not every integration will be available to you. So there are some integrations which you are like practically going to keep it up differently, or it's a different mechanism which is going to be present there. And then according to that, it's going to work for you. All right. So that's the, like the mechanism which is really going to be followed, and it's going to be implemented. So any kind of doubts or questions, guys, so far? Now, I have actually covered the uh, SSH connectivity part once again, because somehow yesterday's recording was not there. So I have covered that once again today. So you should be able to go ahead and see that integration, right? So if some of you guys have missed that integration, so that's still going to be available there. So we can focus on that. I have to rush early today, but what we are going to do is like tomorrow we are going to talk about the playbooks, because all these modules which I'm talking about, let's try to put it up into a playbook file. Let's create certain steps. So tomorrow I will bring some ready-made playbook files. I'll explain the scenarios with you, and we'll try to install certain softwares like Tomcat, Apache, Apache Web Server. So we will go for those installations so that you can have a proper understanding that how exactly these tools are really going to work. All right. So let's meet tomorrow, guys, at the same time, and we'll continue.
Thank you, Anuj.
Thank you.